Thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. On today's review, we take a look at the Mezco 112, Mezco exclusive, DC Commissioner Gordon, and Bat Signal. Today I'll be reviewing this figure in 6 categories: accessories, articulation, design, is it essential to your collection, functionality, and price. Once all scores are totaled, I'll give you my opinion if this figure is a pass or a purchase. So I'm very excited to add this figure to my collection. Mezco is the one place that I go for DC characters, as I tend to skip out on DC collectibles, Mattel, and other DC lines. So I'm really looking forward to add Commissioner Gordon to what we already have as a sea of Batman figures. So with this particular review, I am going to try to push through it as Godzilla just woke up. And at some point, Godzilla will be terrorizing this video. So hopefully we can get through it without too many interruptions. So for accessories, this figure truly comes loaded. So to start off, it comes with a backdrop of Gotham City. And it actually comes with 3 additional attachments that you can add to the backdrop. The first 2 pieces, this being one of the 2, you're able to build around the outside or inside of Gotham just to give you a different display option. I'll show how that's done a little bit later. And you have the floor component, which I'm going to drop the camera down to show. So now let's just take a look at some of the other accessories. So taking a look at the head sculpts, it comes with 2 in total. This one appears to be an older version of Jim Gordon. You can see the gray highlights throughout, and you can also see the wrinkles throughout the skin, something that I really like. The glasses are done very well. They are also missing lenses. We'll talk about that a little more. So the other head sculpt comes on Commissioner Gordon, and he appears to be a bit younger in this version. So less wrinkles in the skin, no gray highlights throughout. Still, the head sculpt looks very good, and when I look at the figure overall, it does remind me of Jim Gordon, which in my opinion is one of the more important parts. So continuing on to the accessories, he comes with 3 pair of hands. So the hands are done particularly well. Usually when I'm looking at the hands, I look at the line work just to see if it mimics some of the lines in a real hand. And here you can see it. I hope it's coming through on camera. You can also see the nails. Now, it is not clear to break up the lines as well as the nails. In other versions of Mezco hands, they've used pink or reddish paint just to be able to bring out more of the texturing. So this time around, it appears that the entire hand is painted one color, so it makes it more difficult to point out the grooves, the nails, and so on. So not a big deal, just something I thought that I would point out. In addition to the hands, we receive a walkie-talkie. I mean, for what it is, it looks good. I mean, it's not I wouldn't say it's a beautiful piece, but it serves its purpose. He comes with a badge, which is removable. I really think that in itself is a very cool accessory. Just trying to see if there is any lettering. It's a little bit hard for me to focus. So there's no lettering or numbers on the badge itself. In addition, we have a weapon. Other than the black paint, I don't see any other paint on this. It does come with a holster. In addition to that, we receive the fire effect piece, which I absolutely love. Mezco seems to include this now in all of its figures that comes with weapons, and it's not something that I'm tired of. It's something that I want more. Keep giving it to us, Mezco. I really like this effect piece. In addition, he comes with a watch. Think that's pretty cool. I'm wondering if this is actually going to fit around his wrist. We'll find that part out a little bit later. He also comes with a bulletproof vest. Gotham City Police Department. The lettering is very clean. The stitching is very clean. Mezco is really improving on their stitch work. I really like how the pockets and straps look. So I'm really digging this. In addition, we receive a trench coat that has a belt. So I really like this as well. And last but not least, we receive Mezco base and stand. Wait, there's more. And we receive the bat signal. Man, this is really a beautiful piece. I just really don't know where to start. I really like the bat symbol that they chose to use. The clear glass with just the silver on the inside was really a nice touch. And in the middle, that part there is black. But if you can look at the overall mechanics of this, just what's supposed to symbolize bolts and just the dry brush that's actually going throughout on this thing. It's a lot of textured details, and the dry brushing really brings a lot of it out, especially in these areas. And if you can look here, they decided to throw paint. There's yellow, there's blue, there's some red, and you have color that continues here. And then just the wires that are going throughout this piece, man. This piece is fantastic. I normally don't dwell on accessories so much, but this is one great looking accessory. Even in here, they have a color supposed to mimic rust. That part looks a little bit cheesy, but I don't feel that it takes away overall from what this is. So just looking at accessories, I don't think it's much more that you could want. So for overall accessories, I'm going to give Commissioner Gordon a 10 out of 10. So for articulation, sadly, the neck and head is all one piece. So you lose a lot of range of mobility. So with the head, it's only able to look up about that much. It's able to look down much further. It's able to rotate a full 360. You do get good amount of pivot, and there's no rotation at the neck. It's just, well, I guess at the chin area down, there's no rotation. The entire neck and head moves, being that that's one piece. So with the arm, it's able to come out to about that much. It felt like there was a little bit more leeway here. However, it was very stiff, so that's as much as I'll push it to. So with the arm, it would be able to rotate a full 360, but due to the clothing around the arm, it is restricted. So the arm is able to move about that much forward, that much backwards. You do not have an upper bicep cut. You do get rotation, however, at the elbow, and the wrists are able to turn, and they're able to hinge up and down as well as side to side. The elbow is double jointed, bending in about that much. Moving on to the torso. The torso feels like it's one piece, but it's not. So you have an A piece, which we'll call the higher part, and the B piece, which is the lower. So just using the A, you're able to get about that much rotation. It doesn't move back at all. very minimal forward movement, and you do get just a basic amount of pivot. Now, using the combination of both, you're able to get a much wider range of twists. The figure is able to crunch back about that much, forward about that much, and you do get much better amount of pivot. So now with the legs, I'm pretty sure that they will be restricted from these pants. Yeah, so the pants are already stretching here, and I'm not going to push it more than this. So this is about as much as you can get. You do have upper rotation, no mid cut. The knees are double jointed, kicking himself in the own tail. The feet are able to rotate full 360. They're able to go forward that much, down that much, outside pivot, inside pivot. So for articulation, I think this is the same Joker and Doctor Strange mold, and that's one of the molds that I wish Mezco would actually do away with. Having the head and the neck as one piece truly limits the amount of articulation. The torso here is very stiff, and with the legs, I'm pretty sure there's a greater range of movement. However, due to the material that was chosen, and also due to the stitch work being right here, you could limit how much you're able to spread the legs. Being that this is a commissioned Jordan figure, I don't plan to have him in poses that I would Spider-Man or Batman. So having him being able to do a full split, in my opinion, is not necessary. However, being that I am grading the overall articulation, there are some areas to where improvement can be made. So I'm going to give Commissioner Gordon a 7 out of 10. So just turn the lighting down, as I think that this is a clearer representation of Commissioner Gordon. And this really reminds me of the 90s animated series, and I think Mezco did a fantastic job here, especially including the additional jacket, the vest, the alternate heads, which allows you to really switch up the design of Commissioner Gordon. Only glaring issue as far as design that I can see anyway is the absence of the lenses. Without the lenses, the eyes are casting the shadow that you can clearly see. And I'm not sure why Mezco decided to skip on this for both head sculpts. So for overall design, I am actually going to deduct points for both of the head sculpts, and I'm going to give Commissioner Gordon an 8 out of 10. So is Commissioner Gordon essential to your collection? I usually start out with that depends. There is no that depends here. Mezco has released, in my estimation, over 12 Batman figures, which is a lot, even for Batman enthusiasts. So finally to have someone to go along with that Batman is not only much needed, but it also helps to expand the universe of Batman. Commissioner Gordon makes Batman feel more connected with Gotham City. So he is essential to your collection, and I'm going to give Commissioner Gordon a 10 out of 10. So for functionality, there are certainly some glaring issues. And the first that I'll start with is the vest. So Mezco chose to use a zipper design, and the zipper is ridiculously big to allow human hands to be able to use it. However, I have pretty big fingers, and I've been unable to zip this up while it's on Commissioner Gordon. I'll try to demonstrate here. My fingers are just too big for it. So I'm not sure why Mezco decided to go this route rather than Velcro, which could have simply laid across the other piece and it could have fastened its way like so. So using the zipper, in my opinion, was a very poor design. So continuing on to challenges. So you have two areas in his belt, the first being to the right, then over here. to the left to where you get to tab in the walkie-talkie as well as the holster for the pistol. So let's start with the walkie-talkie. The end of the microphone piece connected to the walkie-talkie has a magnet. The magnet only works on this side. So that's a clear indication to me that this is supposed to peg in here. However, it is not that easy to do, being that the belt is always pressed against the body and it's not a lot of room. It is just not easy to peg it, and when I do get it in place, I just find that it actually tabs its way out. Right. So even if I got it and eventually it will come out. The other challenge when this is on him is the vest supposed to sit closed, because I'm unable to close the vest with this piece tabbed. Now maybe it's not supposed to work in conjunction with the vest and it'll work with the coat, so we'll see that later. So I was assuming that the pockets here on the pouches are functional, but they are not. So I'm not going to rip mine, but it would have really been cool if they were functional and you can actually put the walkie-talkie in the pockets versus having to use this hole. Okay, so I officially checked all of them and it doesn't work. So now I have not tried to tab the holster to this side. Let's just see how that works. So I'm going to place it near the hole first and then I'll move the belt. Okay, so I managed to tab it in place. It was a lot of hassle, so in my opinion it's much more trouble than what it's worth. We'll see throughout the review if it stays in place or if it comes off. So in order to remove the vest or put it on, the easiest way I find is simply to place the arms back like so, and arm by arm just work the vest off. So I'm going to attempt to do the same thing with the jacket. I'm thinking it may be much easier if I move the hands. I'm going to see if it works, however, with the hands in place. And the holster fell off. I'm not surprised. So the coat goes on relatively easy. That was a much easier process than I thought it would be. So now that I have the coat fixed and situated, there is no bendy wire in the coat with the exception of the belt, and there is no Velcro underneath. Like, it would have been a great idea to have Velcro on one side so that you can hold it in place like so. However, they chose not to do so. I'm assuming that the wired belt is supposed to take care of that. So I simply cross the belt, give one twist, and it is able to hold the jacket in place. Not sure how good that actually looks. So continuing on with some other challenges. So it will be the hands and how the hands work with the accessories. So here you have this open hand. Now you are able to have the hand hold the item, but it doesn't do it the best, and it feels like you're overstretching the fingers as you do so. But then you can get it to work, and it comes out a lot better than initially I thought that it would. So this is actually, I'm pretty satisfied with this. So now moving on to the gun. So this hand holds the gun very well. I'm very happy with that, and I like when hands are designed specifically for the weapons. So now remember, we have the blast effect piece, which plugs directly into this hole. Whoa. like so, and I really like how that looks. So now I remember, it wasn't the walkie-talkie hand, it was the badge holding hand. So it just isn't a good way really to hold this badge. I almost wish that the badge was mounted to the hand itself. Like any forced movement here, it's definitely going to fall. And of course, while it's on video, it does not fall. Okay, so I forgot all about the watch. In order to put the watch on, simply remove the hand that you have. Place the watch over the arm like so, and place the hand back on, and there you go. Gotta say, that's a nice touch. So now let's focus on the diorama and how it works. So you receive two pieces which look like this. So simply you want to start bending them where the lines are. And as you bend it, you can see the tabbed area, which the top will tab in. Before doing so, however, you want to collapse the sides. On all four corners, including the larger pieces. So what I'm going to do, being that all ends are bent, I'm going to tab in the three pieces. Not the easiest to do on camera, but I assure you it is a simple task. Okay, so this is how it looks when all three tabs up top are input. Then simply close these sides here, and you're going to fold that area down, and you're going to work that in. Then you're going to do the same thing on this side. And when it's complete, it should look like this. So this is the second part that comes with it. You're going to do the same exact thing. Okay, so now that both pieces are done, let's just sit them to the side. We're going to take the larger part of the backdrop and we're going to make it L-shaped, like so. We're then going to take the floor part, sit it in the center, and I'll back the camera up some. So there are two displaying options. One is you can have it displayed that way, and the other option, if I'm not mistaken, there we go. It's to display it like this. Let's add in Jim Gordon. Let's zoom in a bit. I gotta say, it's a really cool feature. Not sure if I'll be using it, but I'm glad that they included it. So now looking at the last item for functionality, it comes with 3 AAA batteries. The compartment is very easy to get to, and it's also normal screwdriver size friendly. I was really thinking that I was gonna have to find a small screwdriver, but nope. So simply input the screwdriver. It's only 1 screw to remove. Very easy to remove the screws. So if I was to move this forward like so, the batteries would be input negative, positive coming down, and then negative. Put back on this piece, screw it in, and we're ready to go. And to turn on the lights, there's an easy access switch, off and on. And voila, no lights. So I've taken the batteries out again just to make sure that I had them in the correct places. I made sure that the closure device was screwed on tightly. I changed the batteries just to see if perhaps the batteries weren't working, but I have a non-functional bat display, which is extremely disappointing. So for functionality, I'm going to give Commissioner Gordon a 4 out of 10. So I have an update. As I was about to pack this away, my light came on. Couldn't figure out how it happened until I started to mess around. So right now, this is switched on. Hope you can see that there. So in order to get the lights to work, if you turn this around, there's a lever. The lever must be facing up. The lever is up, the light is on, and I think that's extraordinary. Sorry, I was unable to confirm that before. So let's turn the lights down and let's see how much this actually lights up. So the light is very bright. So I'm certainly going to update my functionality part. I'll be changing this score from a 4 to a 6 for functionality. As you can see, it accurately casts the bat symbol, so this is really cool. So for pricing, Commissioner Gordon comes in at $125. That is before shipping, that is before tax. Include the two, you're looking at a price of close to $150. That is a lot of money for a 6-inch action figure. So let's see what he comes with. He comes with the cool backdrop of Gotham City. He comes with the bat signal. He comes with some cool accessories such as the watch, the walkie-talkie, and the badge. We do receive 2 alternate head sculpts, which are very similar. He has the trench coat, which is able to give him a different look, and he also has the vest, which is able to give him a different look. So is all that worth the price point of $150? So let's start with the bat signal. That piece alone, I would assume that most collectors would be willing to spend up to $40 for that. So now, before the taxes, before the shipping, if we're looking at $40 for that one piece, and we're looking at a price point of $80 for most Mezco action figures, then that would seem just about right. Now, outside of the accessories, there are some glaring issues with functionality, such as choosing to use the zipper versus the Velcro, such as Velcro missing in some areas, having tabs which really don't hold what they're supposed to secure, and the list goes on and on. So for pricing, while all of the accessories would seem to make Commissioner Gordon worth it, due to the functionality, I'm going to have to knock it down some. And for pricing, I'm going to give Commissioner Gordon a 7 out of 10. Which should give Commissioner Gordon an overall cliff score of 46 out of 60. Now, is this figure a pass or a purchase? I've mentioned this earlier that we have a sea of Batman figures, And any Batman character that we can get that's not Batman that will add into the lineup is a plus. So with all the glaring issues, with the high price point, to me, Commissioner Gordon is a purchase. So here's Commissioner Gordon by himself. Here's Commissioner Gordon next to Mezco's Nightmare Batman, and boy, do I hate that coat. And here's Commissioner Gordon next to Mezco's Deluxe Joker. So I like how he fits in scale between Batman and Joker. So this just reminds me that a while ago I said that I was going to do a video based on the older Mezco DC figures. I haven't forgotten. It's just found it hard to make time to do so, especially with me purchasing new action figures and trying to review those. So that project is still on the way. Unfortunately, I do not have a date. So I just want to thank everyone for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop, and I hope to see you during the next review.